Right, welcome back to the Queer Gossip podcast, episode number 16. As always, we're going to have a catch up. We see what's been going on. And then we're going to get into tonight's episode where we will watch a YouTube video where Graham Linehan discusses his book as he's being interviewed by another TERF by the name of Sasha White. But before we get into it,
I actually haven't watched it yet.
I haven't. I purposefully not watched it. I mean, my reaction wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be different anyway. But for the purposes,
Yeah, I like doing it off the cuff. I was so happy you sent me this one. That was, and like my spontaneous thing was like, I need to do this. But like if I'm going to have to sit through Graham Linehan by myself, I guess it's lucky I don't live higher up than the second floor. I guess so. I probably would just break a leg because I would jump out a fucking window.
Yeah, well, speaking of Graham Linehan, we may have an interview next week. Not with him, unfortunately not with the man himself, but it's with a musician who is currently facing violent abuse and revenge porn tactic from the man himself. So she will be coming on next week to discuss discuss what's been happening.
Yeah. And like, not cool that it happens to her, but like, cool that she wants to come on.
Yeah, because she wants to get the story out there. Her goal is to try and I don't think her goal is to try and sue him. She just wants him to basically stop.
Yeah,
so
I get that. Which is like usually what people want.
Yeah.
I want him to cry, but that's like me. I'm weird and actually like quite a bad person. So, but yeah, I like don't do revenge porn, you fucking weirdo. What the fuck?
Exactly.
And once again, I have to say this. I never revenge porn. It's pity to not do that. And I actually shoot porn. I make my own porn, and I have never. Jesus fucking Christ, this dude.
Yeah, he for someone who claims to be, intelligent, like he doesn't seem to know that just because someone of their own free will posted something, right, that does not give you the right to then take that image without consent and then use it the way he does it. Like, that's not how it works.
No.
Just because it's in the public domain, and yes, of course, yeah, it's out there, it's in the public domain, but still.
Yeah, you still shouldn't you fucking weirdo. And like, it's for example, a few days back, I think I posted like great pictures of my ass, and like my stomach, and also like me with the fucking great makeup where I look like I've been fucking beaten. If people start posting those around, that's fucking weird. Like, whether it's illegal or not, if they post them around in order to like make me feel shit, that's weird. Now, if you save them to fucking come to them, I don't care. Do it. I would be very, very proud of it. I am a weird person, but like, like, regardless of like legality and stuff, like it's fucking weird at best, and especially when it's the fucking grey hamster himself doing it.
Yeah.
I desperately want to talk to him.
You know. Yeah.
We haven't spoken for like 1.5 weeks, right?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
You'll see in a minute. Like obviously, we'll get to the video as soon as ASAP. But you'll see him like make a complete idiot out of himself. You know,
he does that every breath he takes. Fucking does that. So I'm psyched. I'm pumped. I'm going to be fucking hell. This is going to be great. I just gotta like. I'm going to need to like do some weird rant about my day because it's physically impossibly shit.
Yeah.
And I actually started liking it. Like we hadn't even gotten like past noon. Like at 10:30, I just okay. Well, this is hell. I guess I'm going to enjoy it because at that point it was so fucking bizarre. But what have you been up to?
Yeah. Well, I think without further ado, since this is going to be a bit of a feast, let's get right to it. So, let me share screen and then we'll get straight to it. So, yeah, here is the man himself, Graham Linehan. Let me go back to.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Did I say everything that... Wait, I'm sorry. Did I actually do that challenge or did I dream that? Did I actually say that every time that he says something that makes me want to tell him to jump off a bridge, I'm going to do a line? I'm not. I'm definitely not. I don't want to die.
No, but I can... But every time I see his face, I certainly do...
Oh yeah, I'm going to, like, full disclosure, to be able to survive watching him, there will absolutely be use of heavy narcotics during this episode. I'm sorry, that's just...
Yeah,
look like a fucking thing. No. She looks like she is a trans person.
Oh,
sorry, like that was such a fucking cunt move on me to trans people, not to her. But like, that was actually the first like instinct I had. I don't know why. I do not know why. I do not want to figure out why. That was fucking weirdly internalized bullshit. Fucking hell, this is off to a great start.
Yeah. No. I don't... The first time I heard about Sasha White was unironically on Graham Linehan's YouTube show called The Mess We're In, which is rather apt, considering the fucking dynamic he's in. And she's a foreign turf. She lost her job because of it, but to her, she thinks she's won. She's one of these dumb Americans.
Oh, yeah. Those
ones. Who is completely
yeah. Fucking moron.
But yeah.
But like, where do these people fucking stem from? What lab is that grows these fucking people?
I don't know, but whoever's in charge, I want to,
And why? Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to like play old mean girl here. Yeah, I do. Of course, it's me. Why are they always such fucking dorks? Why do they always look like they're going to like Bible studies and stuff? And like, I've been to Bible studies. It was really weird, but it was fun. But like, these people are they have like this newborn Christian vibe from like the movie Saved that makes me just want to do a Macaulay Culkin and
Yeah.
Set traps up all my house and watch them die.
Yeah, they just have that look that you want to like fucking punch.
Yeah, I'm not saying like dress like me. I'm saying like dress like a person, not like an imitation of a person.
Yeah. But yeah. Oh, and for obviously our podcast listeners, and YouTubers, and those of you who watch this on YouTube, we will be pausing every like 5 minutes or so for their use on YouTube, because otherwise this video won't be going up. So we will be pausing every 5 minutes or so.
If we just put a little animation of Hello Kitty with a guillotine in the corner, he won't be able to. He won't dare to watch this one.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking bitter about that one. I don't know. It's rock and roll. I have a fucking notebook.
Hi, everybody. I'm here today with Graham Linehan. I'm very excited to talk with you, Graham. Thanks so much for coming to join me.
She sounds like fucking child.
A couple of years since the last time I interviewed you. And in that time, you've written a book. So I've got the book here, Tough Crowd, How I Made and Lost a Career in Comedy. So it's a wonderful book. Graham, I'm so excited to talk today.
Can you just pause and go back to the book? I just need this one.
Good.
Because
yes.
if I look like, and I do not want to be a dick here, but like he knows he looks like a fucking weird person. Like, look, remember his weird old animated like old cartoon profile pic on Twitter? That was specifically made to look like he was having a stroke. Look, that big of a cover with that face on it. Fucking. Do you want to induce sleep paralysis on your readers, Graham? Like, I wouldn't put my face in that big on it. I always kind of find that fucking revolting, but like, I wouldn't put my face on. My face is prettier than his.
Yeah, she
Graham it's been a couple of years since they were talked.
Yeah,
she's 12.
Graham just looks like a fucking hamster that's lost his life.
Oh yeah.
She looks like I don't know, but
yeah, he at least looks like he's about to be buried.
Yeah,
like in a bag, not in a coffin. Like he looks like fucking dead. Like yeah, you have to.
Absolutely. But yeah, that's
welcome to the petty talk.
Yep.
This is what I'm here for. More optimistic about things at the moment. Writing the book certainly helped. It's getting the conversation a little bit further away from where it was. There's still people who are determined to paint me as having kind of ripped up my life for almost recreational reasons.
They took my family,
and who still just simply don't see any of this.
You're the one who did that, you fucking cunt.
You know, don't think that women's sports being removed, women being unable to acquire single-sex services. They just don't think it's
women being able to not have revenge porn poster.
Put all your chips on, you know. But you know, I'm hoping that bit by bit, the picture of it will come out and people will see that really I didn't have a choice. You know, I'm surprised. I'm still surprised. I have so many colleagues who have daughters, you know, who are playing along with this stuff. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. But anyway, sorry, I've jumped from subject to subject already, and I.
That's all right.
I better not try and right every wrong in the first 5 minutes of the interview.
Well, that would be nice if we could do that. You know, that'd be worthwhile. Yes. One thing I wanted to ask you about is you said that you wrote it partly by.
He said that it's good that it's coming away from like where the discussion was, right? And then the next word he brings us back to where he was. Like, what the fuck are you on about? Could you just stop your fucking transmania for just 1 second and like look at yourself from outside? I have colleagues who have daughters who play along with it, or they believe in it. You fucking shithead.
Yeah, you know.
You make me so fucking mad.
Yeah,
like in a fun way, not in an angry way. Like more like in a, I think I'm actually going mad, like Cheshire Cat kind of way.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is a clear. This is the classic example of Graham Linehan doing his typical diatribe of talking nonsense.
How good that people are no longer talk about this part, so now I'm going to talk about it. Also, he sounds like he's currently, like as he's speaking, forgetting what it sounds like to be Irish.
Yeah.
Like I know Irish people, and I get that they have different accents. He sounds Irish, of course, but it sounds like he's like actively forgetting that. It's weird. He has a weird fucking cadence, and I can't stop thinking about it. I had forgotten how his fucking voice sounded.
Yeah, it's like this is his normal. I'd say his normal baseline. This is how he normally is. Obviously, when he does his own show, he's like, because obviously I hate watch whenever they go live. Like,
they really need to do that sometimes.
He's
but Jesus
animated
Christ.
there. He's animated, but because he knows that he's with his pals, because they'll just blindly laugh at everything he says. Whereas here, he's more subdued.
Aren't both of those two like kind of personality lackers as well? He kind of has to be like animated next to like two statues.
Yeah.
If I sound weird, if I sound like I have a list, it's because I have like this ring thing in my tongue that I decided like, oh, now it's going to be a good time to put that in. Like I took that like 5 minutes ago. Like right before 5 minutes before we started. Like it was the last thing I did before I sat down. Like a fucking moron. But so if I have a list, that's why.
Yeah, that's fine. Right, let's go back to the fucking diatribe of bullshit.
So psyched.
Artie Morty interviewing you, and I was curious about that, about how that worked, that process.
Well, I always feel that the first draft of anything is kind of like just almost like the blueprints of a house. It's not the house itself, and but you have to get it out. You have to create the blueprint before you can write the book. So Artie very kindly just took me through each part of my life, and we just did a couple of sessions where he'd interview me on my childhood or other things, and it just created that blueprint. So I knew what the shape would be, and although having said that, I did get it wrong originally. I tried to be over clever with the structure, and the book didn't really take off as a result. But then when we put everything in the right order, it suddenly turned into a pretty good story, you know. So Artie helped me just get that first version down, which I then worked on and worked on. Like the pleasure for me, even though it was fun, being interviewed by Artie on it.
Yeah, that part where he says being interviewed by Artie. There's a section, I haven't read his book, but having listened to them briefly discuss this on The Mess We're In, Artie has a section in the book where he essentially, and he just said it, where he interviews Graham.
Yeah.
For his section. and Artie wrote a little piece in there. And obviously, in the book, Artie is basically kissing Linehan Grinner's arse, saying what a great
that's
man
all
he
he ever
is.
does. Like, even as a lover of rim jobs, Artie, stop eating his ass. In public, that's fucking offensive.
Yeah, and I know we are specifically highlight, watching Grinner, but some of the absolute shit Artie has said on the Metro Inn, the way he speaks as if, because he says, "Oh, I worked in gay bars," right? And I'm like, yeah, okay, that fair enough, that's your experience. I'm not going to deny that's your experience. But you can't then turn around and say, "Oh, I know everything." It's like, that's why I liken Artie to a token gay, because Artie is in a way giving Graham permission to continuously spew the crap he does, and he gets away with it because guess what? Artie Morty is giving him a pass.
Yeah.
And you've got Helen
If I could,
fucking Scanlan
I'm just gonna say
drunk.
this. If I ever make the mistake of actually becoming successful at any of this, like if I actually would ever become famous, I would fucking hate it. But if I do, and I end up turning out to be a massive piece of shit, like in ways that no one could ever, I hope that everyone who's just like me will stab me in the back and get the fuck away from me as soon as possible, and no one will enable me. Fucking hell. And that's what Graham should do as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's easy to not let yourself be enabled. You just have to not let yourself get to run away with it. Oh,
yeah, it's like,
it's
almost
like,
as if...
Yeah. Sorry.
Like you said, it's like, because he has, like, Arthur Morty, who is very controversial himself. I mean, he even says it in his bio. Was I can no longer access because you blocked me. Because
I can. I don't think he blocked me. Maybe he did because I'm with associated with you. Or by the way, just quick, I had to really do like when I did the whole Shad, whatever the fuck was Shad the Dubrovsky bit like a few days back. Was when I realized that I still had the old podcast name, so I was really good that I did it because now I swapped it up in my description. I need to check up Audimoti. How does he spell his life name? I mean, what the fuck am I talking about? Is it RT with like AI? IE? I've never been to this motherfucking person. I can't find him. And there's my cat. Done. Sorry.
Yeah, but yeah.
I just look at him be a fucking cunt. He pops up sometimes.
We're only 3 minutes and 12 seconds in. Right, let's continue to the 5-minute mark.
Sorry.
And we'll no doubt pause again.
But the pleasure for me in writing really comes from rewriting. And that's when that's what I really enjoy. A lot of stories that otherwise wouldn't be actually that interesting. You suddenly find a comic angle on them, and they come to life. So it was a nice process, and I only realized I should do it that way when I was about halfway through trying to write it. If I'd done that at the start, it would have been out 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay, interesting. So that really sped it along.
It
and
did.
For people who haven't read the book yet, the way it's structured. It's kind of in two parts. The first half is the book is a memoir. The whole thing is a memoir, but the first half is kind of a memoir about your time in the writing industry, writing for Father Ted, the IT Crowd, these other projects that you worked on, very exciting, and all this upward momentum. And then about midway through the book, it's kind of like thunder and lightning strike, and something
Yeah.
changes. And all of a sudden, you are in the midst of this calamity because you've spoken out. And it kind of rested on that pivotal scene where you came out of this operation that you had, and you were a little bit loony on the meds and kind of feeling good and relaxed. And unfortunately, all of Twitter was not, feeling the same way. But that's when things kind of kicked off. So, and then I'm curious, when you were talking with Artie, did things come up that you didn't expect? Like things that you maybe didn't remember until you were talking to him?
Yeah, I mean, I could probably write another book about the same period. There's lots of stuff I didn't cover. I had a whole chapter on attacks from my own.
Please, Graham, don't write another fucking book. I do need to read this one because it sounds like a fucking. Also, I've never been during surgery, but I have done morphine, like as a recreational drug, and yeah, I'm not going to take my fucking life advice from Mr. I chose my personality during a fucking morphine trip. I woke up from narcosis and I was a bit loopy, and then I decided to go on Mumsnet and sexually harass some people, and then I hated trans people. Graham, how are you? How have you been seeing your psychiatrist lately, Graham? Are you okay? Doing well?
Talking of a psychiatrist, not that, if you have one, great. It really helps. It will certainly help him, but I don't think he will take it.
It wouldn't help him because he's beyond that point. He sees nothing wrong with him. He thinks his actions is completely normal.
Yeah, he said something interesting then, saying he had an operation. He woke up. He was a bit drowsy, a bit loopy, right? But I've heard him say on the mess we're in that he was very confused when he got into this fight. So which one is it?
Yeah,
Graham?
like you are when you wake up from narcosis. Like I haven't, like I said, I have never done a single operation like that because I'm a fucking god. But like everyone I've talked to who have done it has been like, oh yeah, you are completely fucked for like a day, and you can barely walk. Like you're not even allowed out of bed. Why the fuck did they let him on that nonsense?
Like, I wouldn't let him out of the hospital.
No, fuck no.
Let alone
like this is like, because I give, like, for example, Stephen King a lot of shit for being like the most liberal who ever liberaled. Like it's always he's such a like old dude, but who has like, he's an old dude who has the correct opinions, and like gays are okay and faggots can be cool too. That's kind of Stephen King, which I love him for, but I give him a lot of shit. But like Fun Uncle Steve, that's where he could have ended up if he'd stood up on Mumsnet. He would have been Fun Uncle Graham, who like had a bit of a but weird opinions sometimes, but he had his heart in his right place. Now he's a fucking genocidal maniac. Great job.
Yeah, that and the such robotic voice that she has. It's like,
oh yeah, she's fucking AI generated.
Yeah, it's like
she has no cadence. She has no way of speaking. She has no like what's her identity? Like, I'm good at that. I'm like, that's my pro shit. I'm great at finding people's identity when they speak, like their words. I have no idea who this fucking person is. But then again, I've watched 5 minutes of her, so I'm not going to like, oh, you have no identity. But like, she also looks like she looks like she comes in like one flavor and it's bread.
Yeah, she had no personality whatsoever. It's just a blank. It's just blank.
The scent of my shower cream is milk, because I decided personality was a bit too much to handle for me, so I'm going to instead try this whole being living dead thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not one to talk about like personality with people. Maybe I have too much personality. I don't know.
Fuck him. Who cares?
Yeah.
Having too much personality is better than having none. In my opinion.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You know, I'd rather have a personality, rather than be a dullard like Glinner.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm
Sasha.
really happy. I'm a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
I do. I own it. Sorry, I've been preparing a little bit here.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
go back.
On side, which I eventually threw away because it was too much like Father Ted's speech at the Golden Cleric. In fact, we were going to call the chapter, and now we move on to liars, which was what Ted was caught saying in that episode.
But you couldn't even say it.
You
wrote the fucking thing.
There's so many weird things about it, like I'm unsatisfied with certain things, like the story of what happened with
like your life,
the kind of con man Stephanie Hayden is it's so confusing, because Hayden basically just told the police what they wanted to hear, and I told the police his history and the money he'd taken from people. His history is, he's a convicted con man and a convicted sex offender, and the police said one thing back to me and one thing back to him, and as a result, it's a very confusing thing in the book, and you kind of want people to say, "Oh, I see what happened now," But it was hard to actually get across the simplicity of it. Because of the complexity of what Hayden did. Like, Hayden sued me, reported me to the police. The Guardian reported it as if it was like this final proof that I'm a bigot, And that's really what kind of was at the heart of my cancellation, is Hayden taking me to court and suing me. And he's is a convicted sexual offender, convicted con artist. He assaulted someone with a golf club. He's a thug. He's basically Al Capone. And unfortunately, one of the things that makes it hard to write about him is that
basically Al Capone. What the fuck? Okay, first of all, no. Second, Graham, I get that you are really, really angry at people who get caught sexually offending, since you have such a talent for it that you never get caught. I get that. I get that this is criticism. It's like, for example, I get a bit pissy when someone does cocaine in a bad way or something, because that's my life. Because I love cocaine, and you, Graham, you love sexually harassing people. I take ownership for that fucking statement. Fuck it. I have proof.
And I think I could be wrong, so do correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to misconstrue what people are saying, even if it is Graham Linehan. I want to give him that fair process. But I think he's referring to Debbie Heaton.
Yeah, probably. It sounded like it, right?
people accuse her of many things, which I highly doubt is true, right? I mean, I don't really like her. I mean, for the simple fact that she simply refers to herself as a man, even though she passes as a woman. She says she's a man. Okay, that's your prerogative. But yeah, I think he's referring to Debbie Hayton. Well, to be fair, Graham, you've had a lot of legal action taken against you.
Because he's a fucking he's a fucking big little fucking goblin man who just sexually harasses people. Why do I not get these sticky notes to stick to me? I have such a good idea, and I'm not going to do it now because now that happened twice. Yeah, now I still fucking. I'm going to this day. I'm going to murder myself. Not like literally. I'm speaking metaphorically. I need to get my fucking computer not wet now. Oh Jesus Christ! Welcome to my life.
This is.
Yeah, just play. Just go. I'm going to. Like I have a towel right here, so.
Yeah. This is what happens when you have a man like Grinner who any normal person, and I say normal as if that's like the standard now, but any normal person who had lost a marriage, lost their kids, right, they would wake up. Maybe it'll take them like a week, maybe a fortnight to suddenly wake up and realise everything they've lost. No, Graham. Oh no. He gets a complete fucking deep dive and becomes more and more obsessed.
Yeah, but he's because and yeah, there are absolutely if like okay, for example, last summer I dated a weird person. She decided that I wanted her to save me from like my self. And I had never asked for that. When she dumped me because I couldn't take care of myself, which I can. I have no issues. I couldn't take care of her like she wanted to, which was not do drugs and be boring. Not that those two are linked, but anyway. When she left me, I didn't take that as a fucking sign. If someone left me and said, "I think you're obsessing a bit," and hang out, if my boyfriend told me, "I think you spend too much time on Twitter and I need to leave you," I would fucking delete my Twitter account that day. Because I don't want to be a fucking weirdo. I don't want to be like him. I don't want to be. I need a life, and he doesn't have one, and you can see it. His soul is gone.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Soul is still dancing.
Even when him and his wife were still together, or barely clinging on. As most marriages tend to do when they're trying to resolve issues. They try and give it one last go. But unfortunately, it didn't work out that way for him. Probably due to the fact that, due to his obsession with harassing women online and going after children, which isn't a good look, particularly when you have kids, specifically a daughter.
Yeah.
And you have and it's like, Kenna, is anyone home? Do you not realise what you're doing? Clearly not, because a year later, he's still doing it.
But he wants to save his daughter, so he has to neglect her.
Which
he has to focus
work.
on he has to focus on the evil tranny, so he has to neglect her. Jesus fucking Christ! I would fucking. Oh God! I want to divorce him. Can I do that? Can I divorce
him? And by him doing that to his own daughter, in of itself, just my opinion, is a manipulation tactic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like, do you not realize that you're actually fucking up your daughter even more?
No, he doesn't.
No,
He
no,
thinks
exactly.
He thinks he's a not piece of shit.
Exactly.
How can you be that much of a piece of shit and not be a piece of shit? I'm not that much of a piece of shit, and I still constantly flag myself as a piece of shit. Like that. I have more self-awareness than Graham Linehan. How do you have less self? How do you have less self-awareness than me? High-functioning narcissist.
Probably. Not that we're diagnosing him, but this is just what we're gathering.
No, I mean me. I mean me.
Yeah.
Like, how do you have less? I'm going to do a Sargon right now. I'm saying I'm going to do a Sargon right now because I'm not a fucking coward who has to hide it like he did. Fucking coward.
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking murder myself if I have to sit through this sober.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's alright. You know, it's just. Yeah, it's just a walking disaster. Everywhere he walks, everyone's like, no, don't come here.
Yeah.
There should be a blockade.
Yeah.
Every time he turns around the corner, there should be like a brick wall. Like blocking it.
I feel like he should be like only allowed down like back roads. I don't know why. I feel like he belongs on a back road somewhere. Preferably in a swamp. Like he has to take the long way between cities. That's kind of what I want. I want that. I don't want to like ban him from cities. I want him to have to take the long way between. He's not allowed on the fucking freeway.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, New Zealand has support with him.
New Zealand what?
He's in New Zealand at the minute, doing like a tour or something.
Graham, what have they ever done? They gave you the Lord of the Rings. Don't do this to them.
I don't know, but he's probably making a tit of himself over there. So
that is kind of his middle name, isn't it? Graham making a tit of himself, Linehan.
That should be his catchphrase.
If you do it, he can send me the fucking invoice. And if he does that, I will send him an invoice. I mean, not the other way around. Jesus.
Yeah, I had
I think that's how it works. I do not know how economy works.
Yeah, someone said on Twitter. Someone said, "Is Graham all right?" And I was like, and I tweeted like, or something to that effect, and I replied, "No, it's not fine." Someone else replied saying, "Oh, he's absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with him." And I replied back,
his
and
life,
I replied saying,
his personality, his look.
Yeah. And I replied, "No, he isn't." And then this person replied back saying, "Did you have his house booked or something?" And I'm like,
yes.
And I was thinking, I could have said that, but I was like, no, because I'm not dead.
It's kind of a bad idea to say that to those kind of people because they are the scared like fucks who will actually believe you.
Yeah.
Like I try to not admit to crimes even though I don't commit unless it's like only to people who I know get it. But when it comes to like because like Fred Flintstone suffering through a stroke here and hates trans people. Yeah, he's fucking all right. Yeah. He's doing fine. He's doing fucking perfectly.
Yeah. You know, given the fact that, he had a moment, he suffered from a brief fucking stint of amnesia and totally forgot that he tried to date a trans woman. Oh, yeah, just simply, fucking eclipse his mind. But,
amnesia.
Yeah. But now he's like, the height of his success is he has written a book that Was it?
And like 50 people have read it.
Yeah.
I haven't even released it yet.
You can't buy the book in stores.
His book.
Yeah. You can
Yeah,
get it on Amazon.
I'll torrent them. I'll torrent the PDF.
Yeah, but
yeah, Graham, you can fucking sue me for that one. I'll die. So we.
I mean,
this. And in about 3 weeks, we will do a 5-part episode of this fucking video.
Yeah,
he's such a fucking cunt that I just want to bully him. That's what he brings out the worst in me, and I love him for that. I really do, because he brings out the really, really petty, mean girl bullshit in me, like the shit that I don't say to the other turfs, like the "you're so fucking ugly" shit, like, because I try to avoid looks based, but he's melting in front of our eyes. Can we just admit the fact that Molten Man is melting?
Yeah, it's like if you can. Yeah, it's like if you were to look, you can just about see like the sweat starting to pour.
Yeah.
On the dresser. Not that, and the fact that he's wearing like a fucking woolly jumper or something indoors.
Fuck. Like I glisten, but I'm high. I sweat like profusely.
Yeah.
But he sweats more than me.
Yeah. Exactly.
At least I own it.
Yeah. But Dana can't do that, you see, because he'll be letting the side down, as he would put it.
She has had the same fucking expression on her face for this entire fucking interview.
Yeah, she's the type of woman that has a face like a slapped cow.
So this will be your new co-host. I can't fucking speak. I'm going to jump out the window. This will be your new co-host, Torin. I am. What the fuck was the name?
Sasha.
I am Sasha Gray. No, wait, that's another one. Sasha. That's a porn star I idolized when I was a kid. I'm going to be Sasha Black, I guess. That sounds weird. I'm just Max. But this is my new. This is going to be my new outlook on life. Milk. I don't like milk. I drink like oat milk, not because I'm a vegan, but because I just fucking hate milk, which is why I harp on it so much. Just in case anyone wonders. I'm really sorry I'm dragging this out so much. It's just this is what he sets off in me, and this is what I find funny about this shit.
No, that's fine. I mean, this works out fine anyway, because we have to pause anyway. So we didn't get a copyright thing.
And like quickly, I just mean like is what is this, the 16th episode? So I think you learned how I work with it.
Yeah, the 16th
what a
episode.
Adventure.
Yeah. Right. So.
Yeah.
You know he's always going to sue. Whatever you write, whatever you say, he's always going to sue. That's his.
Are you talking to J.K. Rowling?
Something happens and he sues. So they were. I don't know. It was harder to tell the full story of what happened there. You know, even I read that bit of the book and I'm like a little bit lost. You know, but essentially he's just a con man who uses the courts to keep people tied up and stressed. He uses the police to make people frightened. You know, he's a villain, and I feel like they're.
If you're a writer, you should be able to fucking get along with your own book. If you get a little bit lost while reading your own account of what happened, rewrite it. Be better. What the fuck? I'm not saying
Well-
the audience has to always be along, but like you should be. You would
The funny
invite.
thing, is he had help. Like he had Arthur Morty basically do a chapter in his book. Like he dedicated a whole chapter to Arthur Morty to write. He had other people contribute to his book.
Usually that used to be like a foreword or like a afterword or something, not a fucking chapter in the book. Like,
Yeah.
just
So,
write it alongside with someone. Then, like, do what the fucking Mötley Crüe did and stuff. Like, write it with that guy. I just forgot his name.
but it's like, yeah, I mean, like you just said, like he's a writer. Like you should have no problem in writing a whole book by yourself. Okay, fair enough. You can have some people contribute. That's fine. You can do that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
make
yeah,
it
yeah.
in a
Like,
book.
yeah. It's I have a bunch of books here where they're corporations, but like that's like, does it say in the chapter that like this chapter is written by my cunt friend
I don't
who
know.
will definitely throw the other faggots on the fire?
I don't know, because I'm not going to waste my money on his book when
I might actually have
I could just hear it from the horse's mouth.
I'm going to have to read this one and review it on the podcast. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to do that.
Yeah, because
I'll take that
I
bullet. I'll dump that bullet. I'm not going to do it until like next week because like I'm probably going to do it during the summer when I'm off. But I am going to read it. I am going to review it, and I am going to give it an honest review. Like, I believe it's shit. Like, I believe that an honest review will probably be me pissing on it. But like, I am going to give it an honest review. And if I like it, fine. I'm going to admit that he's a talented writer. He's like, fuck, I know talented writers who are pieces of shit.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. He's fucking hack.
Yeah, you know, he even struggles. Like we're not even like what 8 minutes in, and he just looks fucking. He looks dead. Literally, he looks dead. He looks fucking bored.
Yeah, he has no life in his eyes. Like she has more. Well, if she has no fucking, she's void. He has despair.
Yeah. Yeah,
Do these people like? Look at me! Look at me! Look at me! Like do I look? I'm happy. I just want all of you people, like all of you fucking turfs, like Graham Lanham and fucking Sasha Knox here. I want all of you people to know that I'm so fucking happy. I'm so happy that I had the worst day of my life today, and I loved that. I'm so happy that I have had a shit week, but I still generally like my life. I was born a way that made me a higher statistics for suicide, and I am happier than you, you fucking losers. You are such fucking losers. I'm sorry, I just want them to know that. I want them to know that they fail and I'm happy.
Yeah, and so you should, because, you know, I mean, despite all of their attempts, and believe me, there are many attempts that they do throughout the day. You know, specifically Grinner.
Oh yeah.
You know, they could say the most abhorrent shit, and believe me, he has to this one person who we will be having on next week.
Yeah.
It's like you can if you. I'm going to put this out there right now, right? Because you know, I'll be honest, I've had enough, right? But it's not going to stop me. But it's not going to stop me from being a trans ally. It's not going to stop me speaking, whatever. Right. So, to all of you TERFs out there, right, and gender criticals, if you want to continue to falsely accuse me of being, a paedophile, groomer, a sexual predator.
That's so fucked. It's so fucked.
If you want to continue down that road, by all means, go ahead. Continue making a massive tit of yourself, falsely accusing someone on the internet that you don't know, or because you have it in your thick head that I may look a certain way, but who cares?
Yeah.
Right, so if you want to continue to do that, go ahead. Be my guest.
And it doesn't have anything to do with that either, really, because today I uploaded a picture a few days or a week ago or something. Time works in a mysterious way sometimes. Wibbly wobbly timey-wimey. There you go, Doctor Who fan. Yeah. Whoa! I did a reference. Fuck off. But Doctor Who, I don't know what that was. But and that's one of the greatest pictures ever taken of me. It's I have these black gloves on it, and it's I look fucking stunning. I had someone tell me I looked ugly in that one. It has nothing to do with looks. These people are fucking blind, and they do what they think will hurt you, and they call me a man. There are pictures of me where I look manly. They don't choose them. I have pictures uploaded on Twitter where I consider myself, and they refuse to choose them, and that's weird. They just choose the first best pick, and that's always the best pick I am because it's going to be the profile pick, and then they call me ugly, and it's do your homework. Do your fucking homework. Calling me ugly, regardless of what you think, I'm not. I don't think I am, and it has nothing to do with the actual looks. It has to do with whether or not they believe that they can break you with it.
Exactly.
And they can't. And they can't break you with that either because the fucking guns. But it sucks. It sucks that I get called ugly and you get called a pedophile. That is fucking vile. Luckily, I don't actually get called a pedophile that much because I think I have been fucking litigious enough to not. And the times that it happened, I ruined their fucking life for a bit.
Yeah, it's it doesn't.
I know
it doesn't happen as often as it did because it used to happen quite a lot to where you're pretty it was pretty much an everyday occurrence. I don't get it as much. There are times here and there, someone will come in sniping and say, "Oh, shut the fuck up," obviously pedophile, whatever. It's fine, bring it on. Listen, if you are big enough and man enough or woman enough to come at me, and say that to me on Twitter, be my guest. Please, I beg you.
Yeah.
Come at me. If you think I'm a trans woman, come at me.
That's still
come at me. Misgender.
I love the fact that they think you're a fucking trans woman and call you you will always be a man. Yeah, I know. I had one of those be like, you will never be a man. No shit.
Yeah. But if you have any brain cells left, which I doubt, but if you do, if you really truly cared about children, and I don't care if this offends listeners or whatever, or anyone watching, if you truly cared about children, turn your attention to what's happening in the church.
Yeah.
Start there. How about start there? And stop harassing innocent people.
How many people? I'm not saying there are no convicted trans pedophiles. I'm not an idiot. I know there are, because there are shit trans people. I'm not saying there aren't shit trans people. We live in a world where Blair White fucking exists. I am well aware there are trans people who are fucking garbage. I'm not surprised by that. But thing is, they're like a minuscule part of a minuscule part. Mainly, pedophiles are like male cis. Mainly, pedophiles are cis in general. That has to do with like the fucking biggest percentage of the planet. Okay, you know why I love the fact that we are doing, by the way, the fact that we are doing video now? Because now people can see the fact that I change my screen name every time. And I try to make I've tried to make like jokes. I've tried to make it a joke every time. And I'm kind of sad that I don't remember every one I've used, because I've tried to use a different one every time. Last time it was Maximum Overdrive. I know that one because I had to change it to this one, which is a Thundercats reference, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know, going away from my, slight
Sorry,
unorthodox mini tangent, but
no, I think you did well.
use your common fucking sense, if you have any. I mean, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Right. These people make me laugh because, I don't have to put everything I've been through out on the open, because guess what? It's the internet. No one needs to know, and that's that. Right?
Yeah, like what the fuck? I don't like, who does that. My first memory is of biting my the tip of my tongue off, clean off. Did anyone know that? What the fuck? I don't tell people about every day. Yeah, exactly. That is actually my first memory of all time. The first thing I remember in my life is the taste of blood filling my mouth, and while I'm drowning in my own blood. Yeah, I kind of figure out why this turned out the way I am.
Yeah,
it's like, I don't tell people that because it's irrelevant. Like, you don't tell people all the shit you've gone through.
Yeah, it's like if I was to put this in my bio. I used to have this in my bio. I don't anymore because not everyone needs to know. But having a past like I have, being a child abuse survivor, the internet doesn't need to know that. Why? Because you don't. So calling a child abuse survivor a paedophile or a groomer is disgusting.
Oh yeah, that's
because your inclination now is because I was abused, and because you have it in your head that people who abuse as children go on to their abuse. It's like, no, use your common sense.
Yeah, and right? I'm going to have to stand to smoke, which is why I'm standing up. And I just try to not. I have such a weirdly short miniskirt on right now, so I'm actually going to upload a picture of it later. Yeah. But that's why I'm not trying to I'm trying to not show my pants. But anyway, and it's also even if you don't mind people knowing it on the internet. Is that the first thing you want them to know about you? Like, for example, I don't have that I'm trans in my bio. I don't have that I am, I don't even mention, my favorite topic of all time. I don't even mention drugs in my bio. I don't think I even mention sex. These are my three things. I'm trans, I love drugs, and I do sex a lot. That's my three things. And I don't mention my boyfriend, who I talk about constantly otherwise. So, it's about what you put in there. Instead, I have a weird Marquis de Sade reference, which is what Vice amply rewarded is, by the way. It's from Juliet. It's the subtitle of Juliet, the follow-up to Justine. I'm a Marquis de Sade fan, no wonder. But, not of the person, but of the writer. He seemed like a cunt, but he was a good writer. But, it's about what you want to put out there and about what you want to put out there first and foremost.
Yeah, and it's like,
Oh,
you know, but
where the fuck are my cigarettes?
you know, saying anything like that to a survivor of any kind is disgusting, because what you're essentially doing is, one, you're re-traumatizing that person. Two,
Yeah.
you are saying to that person and to everyone else that survivors of child abuse are dangerous people and they should not be around kids. When in reality,
Yeah.
and this can be easily fact-checked, cis men are predominantly the ones who are done for sexual offences against kids,
Oh
women,
yeah.
and trans women,
Because, like,
not LGBT
yeah.
plus. And
No.
it's people like Sasha Wright who say stupid things. Like, I remember her first appearance on Graham's show. She says that trans women aren't women, which we've heard before. And then she says, "Oh, they have bolt-on tits. They are not real." And it's like,
yeah. First and foremost, why are you talking about my tits, you weird fuck?
yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, I have some tits. Like, I haven't operated, but I have like pads. The reason is I haven't stopped the hormones yet. But like, so, like, dude, you've never met a cis girl with a tit job? Like, there are way more than trans girls with a tit job. Like, most people who get tit jobs are.
Yeah,
It
that's what
sounds
she
like you're
doesn't
being
seem to
titty-fucked.
realise. She doesn't seem to realise that
Like,
a lot of cis women have cosmetic surgery.
yeah.
That's what, right? Gender affirming care isn't just for trans women; it's also for cis women.
Yeah, and also,
but they don't know this. They think
like,
that gender affirming care is specifically for trans women, but it's not.
I genuinely don't know why they think hormones don't give you tits. Like, where did they think their grew from? Like, what? Like, why do you think that women have tits and men don't? Oh, might that be because of the fucking estrogen? Or might it be because the magic tit fairy came to you when you were a child and went into puberty and decided that they were going to leave tits under the pillow when they took your teeth instead? Jesus fucking Christ, that's horror. What the fuck did I just make up? I'm going to write something about the tit fairy sometime.
Yeah, great.
Like,
but
taking the teeth. Yeah, but, like, it's weird, right?
Yeah, it's like they, and they spout, "Oh, we know biology." No, you don't.
Yes.
No.
No.
Yeah. Right. We'll try and get through this to as much as we can with the time remaining, and and then we'll try and then we'll probably pick this back up next week.
Yeah, like I said,
yeah.
Keep track of those in like 5 weeks or something.
There's no way for me to really strip back the full story on that, so I might look at it again for a second edition for the paperback or something, because it's not the best when you hardly understand your own story, But
no shit, Sherlock.
That's definitely Hayden. Just everything he touches turns to chaos.
You were the one who wrote.
Yeah, I can understand that sort of as you're writing it. You're like, this whole thing is such a big swirl of chaos, like you said, and a lot of the details are confusing in this whole argument, this whole debate, and when you get into the weeds, things get very complex and unclear.
Your book was shit.
Yes, it's a little bit like what's happened. I'm sorry, Sasha,
no,
I
please
didn't
go
mean to
ahead.
cut across. Well, I was
That's
going to
okay.
say it's a little bit like what's happening in the kind of GC wars at the moment. You know, like there's a lot of internal strife going on. I can kind of tell because I see different things floating up. You know, and they're all from people I follow, and they're all on the same side, and it's all just you know, going a little bit crazy. But then when you try and find out the root of it all, it's impossible because there's so many things. Oh, someone said this in the space. You know what I mean? It's like, what? You know, it seems to me that spaces have been invented purely to cause even more drama on Twitter. You know, so it's so yeah, like once you get into the weeds of a subject like this, and a similar thing happened with Gamergate as well, because Gamergate is another online phenomenon that I tried to write about, and it's just very confusing. You know, it's people pretending to be women online on one side, like the right used to.
Oh yeah, who would have ever done that? It's not like
and then the left did it as well. More. So it was just like a group of people who were identical, calling each other names and pretending to be women. You know, so it's hard to parse all this stuff. You know, it's a strange old world, the post-internet world.
It's not. It's the internet world. It's not the post-internet world. You fucking moron. The post-internet world would be after the internet. We're in the internet age, Graham. We're not in the apocalypse. Fuck's sake. What was?
I thought you were talking about trans people. Right? Where the fuck did Gamergate come from?
Like, no, and most Gamergaters turned out to be toughs. So yeah, eat shit about that one. Jesus fucking Christ, Graham, what the fuck are you on about? I desperately want to interview this person. He's such a fucking magnificently dumb person. I'm trying to find. I have like a template for a receipt, and I desperately wanted to do like a Graham Linehan receipt for personality thing from me. I want him to be able to buy a personality from me, and I want it to be official. That's what I'm trying to find.
Yeah,
as he's talking about Gamergate, because that's where my brain broke there. What the fuck? You're 10 minutes in to this fucking interview that you're doing, Graham, and you can't keep on topic. Like, yeah, I know that's me saying it, but I'm not doing an interview with the person about the fucking book I released. I'm heckling you.
Yeah,
there's a fucking difference.
You know, it's like. Also, like you said, we're 10 minutes in. Like this interview is like an hour and 5 minutes long. Right, so we've got, you know, I'm just
it's a fucking highlight reel from hell.
Amused. Yeah. She looks like she could give no fucks.
I'm not even kidding. I slept like shit tonight, so I'm a bit hazy in the brain. But like, I have on multiple occasions during this like recording, I have wondered, we just not played anything of it because she's been looking exactly the same the entire video. She's a fucking ghost. She's what crawls out of the fucking TV when you see the fucking video from the ring.
Yeah, it's like a mirror image. That's what he would look like if he ever transitioned.
And
you are right, because you do look better if you're transitioned.
Make sure you're not leaving anyone behind who just doesn't have the energy to look into all these subcultures, you know. Although I do think there's
why do you have that you're
an adult paying attention to more than others. Furries being the main one. I think furries is a really bad subculture. I heard a very funny story. Sorry, Sasha, I'll let you ask a second question in about half an hour. I heard a very funny story.
Okay, sorry, that was actually funny.
Although a little bit creepy and scary as well. This husband and wife, their son was a furry. 15 years old, something like that. And both him and his parents just thought it was an innocent little hobby. He'd meet like-minded kids around the same age, all this sort of stuff.
It is.
So he went to a furry convention. The parents dropped him off, and he went and he did whatever furries do. They take photographs, they do conga lines, dance around getting too hot in discos, and howl at the moon and then go to bed, right? So that's what he did. And apparently when he woke up the next morning and went down for breakfast, it was just 40-year-old men. The only other guests were 40-year-old men.
Maybe don't send you 15-year-olds.
And it's like, that's not good. That's not good. And the parents and this kid suddenly realized he was dropped off at a perverts convention.
Yeah.
So it's like
he gets one for being funny there.
So I think there are subcultures that it's worth trying to stay on top of, because they are, like in the case of furries, I think that there's such a heavy overlap from dodgy men.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you.
That's creepy.
Sorry about that.
So, with all those little details and everything, I think one thing that you did a great job of in the book is you showed how all of this is this massive storm that has overtaken our society, both
I
here
can
in
also
the US
show that
and
if I just make it up.
and Ireland. And one thing that I liked that you wrote was you said when the Berlin Wall came down, everyone kind of realized, oh, you didn't support the Stasi, you didn't support them, I didn't support them either. And suddenly everyone realized that everybody was just going along with it.
Okay.
And I think
I'm sorry, he
comparisons
gets funny
like that help
that
get
one
more
as well,
clear
like the
in
Stasi
terms
one,
of
because
with
it
all
wasn't
these little
intentional,
details
it's
and
fucking
things.
hilarious.
And I was wondering if you've had people come up to you and tell you, like, I really didn't know any of the ins and outs of this stuff, but now I see that it's this oppressive force, this lie that has overtaken society. Have you had that kind of reaction?
I've had more people kind of shocked at what I went through. That's been the main reason. I think they're getting over that
and
first.
What was that,
and I guess
Dave?
that's inevitable when I'm telling it
Please
from my point of view. But people seem to be kind of. I wouldn't say it's my book though. It's probably a couple of people might have been persuaded by it, but it's a funny thing. You can write a whole book about it, and people still just completely ignore that aspect. There's been reviews in the Guardian and the Times, and they just attack me and don't barely reference it.
They think your book is shit.
It's hard to know what kind of effect it's having. I kind of feel it might have an effect when it gets into paperback, because hardbacks are actually quite expensive, prohibitively expensive for some people. And
I do absolutely fucking hate hardbacks, though.
More of a because we've had the usual thing of people hiding books and so on, and also this weird campaign to make it sound like we haven't sold any books. Someone in the Irish Independent
sold like 400.
Got angry at because he gave one of my shows a bad review. He probably said we used canned laughter, which is why I used to get angry. But like he said, oh, he's only sold 1,000 books. I've signed 4,000 books. I don't know where they're getting this, and we're on our third printing, so it's just very weird. It's almost
you're on
like
your
there's an attempt to
third
just
printing,
suppress
you've only
it.
sold like
what? It's not weird. It's exactly what I've been getting.
How small are you printing? I'm going to start doing this when every he shows self-awareness, which he did there. I'm trying to get a tally mark.
Always telling me how much he loved my stuff in the past, and now he wouldn't dare have me on a show like the Late Late Show. So
I loved your stuff in the past as well. Bad Books is not one of my favorite fucking shows.
I don't know.
I wouldn't have you on.
Getting a little bit.
Well, I
would.
Yeah, well, if you're on the third printing, I mean, it's obviously selling, and yeah, I read some of those reviews, and they're
you could have been on the 400 printing if you
obviously biased against you just because they want to be on the side of seeming virtuous. It's like you said, they don't really address what you've said, what you've been through. It's just this reaction of like, reminds me of this Key and Peele sketch where there was this one
Fuck you.
guy who would, every time anyone said anything, he would say awkward.
Oh
And
yeah,
he would,
yeah.
you remember that?
Yeah,
he would
that's
ruin
great
every
sketch.
Of course, I remember that.
conversation.
It's fucking ancient.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's kind of what those reviews remind me of a little bit, because
She just
that's kind of their whole thing, is just like, well, that's weird. Like, why is he so obsessed? You know,
Yeah.
and by the way, that
she's a fucking comedy killer. I hate that. I hate when people retell a joke and do it poorly, because she just killed that fucking sketch. That's a good sketch as well. Like, Kay and Peele are really funny.
Yeah, she has, and you know, no offense to Americans in our audience, but she has that typical American sense of humor where they don't quite get it.
Yeah, she also seems to have like the.
But not happening.
She also kind of has like the comedic timing of a stillbirth.
Yeah.
We are never getting sponsors for this fucking show.
Nah, I don't think
that was, however, the first thing I asked you.
Yeah.
How advertise friendly? And I'm so happy you said no.
No, I think we're making that. I think we're making that well known.
Yeah, but
yeah,
that makes us truer.
But yeah, no personality whatsoever.
Fucking hell. No, that's look. It's a funny bit, and she told it in the worst way possible. I could have told it poorly, but she actually tried to do something with like the way she said awkward. Like, oh god, have some fucking convictions. This is like I'm going to give her a little like as a teacher. I'm going to give you a tip now, Sasha. Whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Have some fucking spine. And I know that I whine about spine. I know that I like talk about that, but now I'm talking like have conviction, like believe in yourself, like fucking have some fucking self-confidence. You are in front of a camera. I have never done this shit before, and in the first episode, you can clearly tell I'm nervous, but you can't tell I'm as nervous as I was. Like have some fucking personality in the first place. It has charisma. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but as we know, when you get captured by the cult, they completely zap any personality you had. It completely zaps and is removed, and you're like an autonomous robot.
Do you think that they remove that alongside your sense of humor, like that makes you think that shit like saying "sir" at the end of a sentence to me is funny, even after I've made it very clear that it doesn't hurt me? That's like anti-comedy, like bad anti-comedy. Good anti-comedy is fucking hilarious. One of my favorite jokes is an anti-comedy bit. Why did the boy fall off his swing? He had no arms. I don't know why I find it funny. I find it fucking hysterical. Why did the girl drop the ice cream? She was hit by a bus. Sorry. Let's keep this fucking comedic genocide going.
That's something a lot of people I interview tell me that they get, is like, why are you Joe Bartosh? She was talking about that. Why are you so obsessed with this issue? And reading it, I mean, I personally didn't know just how much you have gone through and how devastating it has been on so many fronts. And you have this metaphor, like the betrayals were like crows sitting on a wire. Was that right? Did I get that right?
Telephone wire, yeah. Yeah, no, it was. It's just been a series of disappointments. People, like if someone has their life destroyed by something and they're a friend of yours, you would think that people would look up what you've been talking about, what your positions are, why you feel the way you do. But there was never that level of curiosity
Keep us
from anyone.
quickly, because I need to do
Everyone
this
was
shit.
just
Because
absolutely
this is so
terrified
fucking
of
tiring.
it, avoided me like plague. And
I had a very, very close friend who I cared deeply about, who unfortunately she was struggling with alcoholism, and I stood by her until the day that she drove drunk. Then I dropped the bitch like a hot potato because I don't tolerate that shit. Like, I could have been your best friend, Graham. I really could have, and I would drop you the second you step out of line for me. I don't pull that. Like, you being a friend to me doesn't allow you to be a cunt. And you being a cunt is actually what fucking ruined your life, you worthless piece of shit.
Yeah. I'm just gonna.
Sorry, that
Yeah.
fucks me up.
I'm just gonna disappear for 1 minute. I'm back.
Oh.
So,
Am I alright? Yeah. What do you think? Hey, it's really a fucking muppet. I'm sorry, I'm so fucking scared. I had like the weirdest. Okay, so fun fact: this day has been the worst day of my fucking life. I started by like sleeping shittily. I get to work and it's like it's the national exams, so all the kids are in every student in Sweden is in 6th grade and 9th grade are having this fucking bullshit exam, and now I have 6th graders this year, so they're going to have the Swedish exams. The first part, it's reading comprehension. The first part of the Swedish exams, what is it? National exams? Sorry, the national exams are meant to be like a gauge to see where we as a country belong, and everyone does the same hour, the same like whatever the fuck. It just started 8:15 this morning, and as I come in there and I start handing out the exams in the classroom, there are like 3 papers missing. There's 3 like bottles missing, and I go and I find 3 more. And for some fucking reason, there are still 3 fucking bundles missing, and I don't know how that is physically possible. So already there, nice start, but I could have counted wrong about how many needed it, and I guess some of them could have eaten them. That's literally, I looked throughout that fucking classroom. So either I counted it wrong or one of the students like ate it. So that was fun. Oh yeah, I was like, we had national exams on Tuesday, and I kind of, the first thing I found out is like a lot of them had just like kind of handed it in empty. That's the first thing I find out this week, this morning. So yeah, fuck that. And then the next part, like the first one, like I said, reading comprehension. They read some text, they answer some questions, and they do that one by hand. The second one, they write an essay, and in this case, they were supposed to write an argumentative essay about wanting like better breaks for school. And I come to the classroom, and there are two kids whose charges for the computers don't work, and so I go and I leave the classroom. There's another teacher there to make sure that they don't cheat and stuff. And I leave the classroom and I come back with 2 charges, and then 3 more have stopped working. Like during the walk there, and apparently fucking shortly before I came in, because they had just seen them and they had just been working, and now they're not. And yeah, because fucking I'm cursed. Apparently, I killed like, I don't know, a fucking racist caricature of a fucking fortune teller. But it gets better, because we fix the charge. I go borrow 3 more, and then I find out what. Well, the papers with the information on how they're supposed to write their essay. I need 4 more. I don't know who counted these fucking piles. I sure as shit didn't. So I go and I get 4 more, and then I need still 2 more. I do not understand how this day has functioned. I'm actually genuinely worried. I started feeling gaslit by the universe. Sorry.
So about that, Mum came down. My mum came downstairs, and she didn't want to be on camera, so
yeah, no worries. I was just telling them about my day. I had gotten to the point where I started feeling gaslit by the universe earlier today.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there are days where I feel like that myself. Where it's like,
it's fucking weird.
It's almost as if it doesn't matter how your day has started. You could have had a good start to your day, or you could have a shit start to your day, and that continues. And it's like, what have I done wrong? What have I done wrong to have a shit day?
Yeah, but like, I'm happy about today though, because today was such a shit show that like I said, eventually just like this is a parody of a bad day. Like that's a parody of my life. I live in a parody now, and that was fun. And that was around the time where like the laws of physics started like literally absolving, because I went and I got what I needed, and I came back and I still needed more, even though I had made sure that I didn't need it, and I don't know how the fuck that happened. So I love it, and that's where I gave up and just decided to go with the flow, and it's been one of the funniest days in a long while.
Yeah, sometimes you have to just let go.
Yeah, like the seventh circle of hell decided to come up and pay me a visit. I'm not going to throw it down.
Absolutely.
Jeez.
That's
and left me to it. You know, even people I thought, you know, would.
I'm going to be hearing. I'm just going to run and grab a lighter.
For them. So it's been a bit of a learning process, certainly. You know, a lot of the people who I thought were indispensable to my life, I realize now they're not. And in fact, you know, you don't want to have anyone in your life who, as I say in the book, when I have a story about Pia Zadora, which was a apocryphal story about Pia Zadora playing Anne Frank, and when the Germans came in, someone in the audience shouted, "She's in the attic," because her performance was so bad. You know, told the story wrong, but anyway, her performance was so bad when the Germans came in. She's in the attic. You don't want people in your life.
This is a fucking comedian, people.
You don't want people in your life who are going to turn you in the moment they have any discomfort. You know, so yeah, it's been a bit of it's been a real learning process.
What?
But the people, those journalists, though, this is people like Janet Turner and Helen Lewis. You know, these people. The reason they're so angry at me is because I have been covering this issue for 6 years and doing nothing but covering this issue, while they have been issuing the odd piece here and there when they can sneak it past their editors, and they're just annoyed because like they should have been doing it. And you know, they should have been as obsessed by it, because we're talking about the sterilization of young people. And I even found
you're talking about
by Helen Lewis, where she called attempts to stop puberty blockers getting to kids vindictive, you know. So I don't know what it is. I think it's just a fear of rocking a boat or something like that. But they just didn't like my journalism, and they didn't like the fact that I was doing it. So, yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. A lot of it is professional jealousy, you know?
Yeah, I mean, definitely there's going to be this.
Graham.
It's down to professional jealousy. No, Graham. They're not jealous of you. They pity you.
Yeah, and like I've said this before, but like for example, I believe that there are circumstances in which cannibalism is correct. Not correct, but like it's not ethically wrong to eat. For example, if someone has amputated their arm in an accident and then they give it to you, they have consented and it's done in very humane forms, and then I would actually consider it to be more ethical than eating meat. I'm not a vegetarian, but like that's my stance. I don't think that everyone who disagrees with that stance it's really just a cannibal in disguise. I believe that they disagree with it because it's a fucking extreme stance to have. Like, yeah, and I know that, but I'm not a fucking coward, unlike you, so I admit that. Like, you, as in Graham, I hate that. I hate that so much because, like, having a controversial opinion is fine. Having a controversial opinion and being a coward about it is fucking not. I really hate. I need to go to the bottom, get to the bottom with why I hate cowardice so fucking much. It's weird, but like, yeah, it's that thing like, oh, everyone really agrees with me. Like, no, you're just shit at arguing your points, so you have to pretend everyone agrees with you. Some people do. Some people agree with Graham, like she does. I'm not sure she's a person, but like, I think she's Simone from that Dustin Hoffman film.
She looks up to him. She idolizes him because she thinks he's a great man.
Graham has the luxury of everyone looking up to him because he's fucking 3 feet tall. No, fuck 6. Like I don't know feet. I literally don't know feet. He's 3 meters tall. Like, have fucking real measuring system. Sorry, I get weirdly mad at the imperial system.
Yeah.
But like, fuck's sake, like, yeah, but yeah, she definitely looks up to him. She's kind of like fangirling a bit over him, which, like, you get. She's getting to meet her hero. Too bad her hero is a fucking transphobic Fred Flintstone.
Yeah, when I first saw her in her first interview, she was basically like, she was basically fucking idolizing him.
Imagine that. Imagine Graham must have the time of his life. I'm not happy for him, but I'm like happy he gets to experience some kind of joy. Maybe he will use that joy to stop being a piece of shit. Unfortunately, she seems to be a piece of shit as well.
Yeah, well, you know what they say. Shitty people always find each other.
Yeah, I tell that to my boyfriend all the time.
Yeah.
This attempt for them to claim we've been covering this whole time. I heard Michelle Goldberg of the New York Times in a debate where she said, I think we deserve some level of credit because we've just done a piece where we've covered 3 different children who transitioned and da-da-da-da-da. But
6 years that took them. 6 years after everybody else has been saying it.
Right.
After they joined in the harassment of figures like J.K. Rowling, it's not good enough. It's not good enough.
Right. That's the issue. Is you've canceled everyone who was trying to speak out on this in a really open honest way. And another thing that people tend to attack you
the person who sent his thousands of followers to me,
that you bring to it. You really care,
20
and
followers.
that's obvious. And people find that, I think, easy to attack. And maybe that's something. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Because I felt like reading the book, we learn a little bit more about your personality and kind of that you've always had this really passionate side where you jump into something and you get aggravated about something that you see as an injustice happening. And, have you always had in your life people kind of reacting, coming up against that?
Have you always had in your life the fact that you just steal fucking things to believe in? And, also, did she just say you're kind of easy to make fun of?
Picking on a younger kid, I
think she did.
Hell. That's basically the thing that gets me angrier, I guess, than anything. And seeing women being bullied in the most disgusting fashion, and the idea is, oh, well, what's on Twitter or whatever, just it's not important. And it's like, well, yeah, it is important because women are being excluded from the public square by men who are behaving aggressively. That is as a tale as old as the hills. And when you see it, you've got to do something about it because otherwise the voices of women will disappear in the same way that, sport now, women are actually leaving sports. I met a woman who said her daughter was a silver medalist in jiu-jitsu. She's given it up.
So she wasn't the winner.
The men entering the sport. Over here, we have the famous example recently of Lynn Pinches, who was a snooker player, snooker pool. I'm not sure which. Who just who quit the game rather than play a trans-identified player very bravely and rightly.
Yeah, snooker.
But yeah, it's just like
what?
It was an incredibly aggressive online space.
That's billiards, right?
And I started
like
standing up for the women.
Basically, yeah.
And when people were rude to me, I would be rude
How?
back.
How the
But
fuck
these people
does your gender
who come after me,
sex
all they do is ignore these people.
come into
They
play
ignore
there?
the women calling for help. You know, people like Gary
Graham, do you
Lineker,
think
who
we're
I
the
actually
worst?
he's a sports figure over here, talks about everything else in the world except women's sports. You know, the one thing that he would actually be a really big influence on.
Yeah, well, you talk about everything in the world except comedy, which is your job.
He's a coward on this issue, you know. So yeah, I just don't understand how people can see, you know, what happened to Rachel Mead, what happened to Maya Forstater, what happened to Alison Phillips, what happened to all these women, Rachel Rooney, Rosie Kay, Kathleen Stock. I just don't see how people can just sit back and watch it all play out without wanting to help.
Because it's
all I join in. I don't sit back and watch it happen. I join in.
A lot of them simply don't realize it's happening because newspapers like The Guardian won't cover it.
Did you just say The Guardian won't cover transport?
I think the people who knew me should at least have been curious enough to look into the issue. And I still haven't heard from any of my colleagues, for instance, on the Father Ted musical, about how they feel about children being on puberty blockers or their mums not being able to choose a carer of the female sex. None of them have ever expressed a single opinion on this issue to me. You know? And I just think that
musical. I hope he gets to do that fucking Father Ted musical, and I hope it fucking flops the shit. Jesus Christ, he's been whining about that one for years.
That thing regarding puberty blockers. I read something earlier today or earlier this evening that puberty blockers will no longer be available to children.
Who the fuck should they be available to then? I would just like when I was a kid, and I'm actually going to be like weirdly serious here because this one fucking it infuriates me. When I was a kid, I had panic attacks. Like when I was getting into the age of puberty, I had panic attacks. I felt like I was going to die, and I wanted to die. I wanted to die a kid because then I wouldn't have to go into puberty and become a man. That's how fucking awful it was for me. I laid awake at night screaming about it, and because I knew that at some point something had gotten wrong. Like I had gotten into the wrong category, and I knew because I had older brothers and I had an older sister. I knew what puberty did to you. I knew that was going to be where my my sex was set. I was going to be a man for the rest of my life. That was when I decided to never come out as trans. That was when I decided to never do anything about it. And if I hadn't had my stroke back, like the year when I turned 30, I would still be there. Like if I wasn't lucky enough to have like an LSD trip that made me see Max in a mirror, the fucking most helpful person in the world, and like a stroke in the span of like 3 months, I would not be who I am right now. And that's because of a promise that I gave myself when I was 10. That's fucked. And if you think that having panic attacks when you go into puberty is okay because puberty isn't dangerous. But you don't know what it feels like to see the person you are turn into what is ostensibly a fucking monster. And that's what it feels like, because what I saw in the future, for me was like hairy and like everything that is not like big and like muscle, and like my older brother is really masculine, and like I saw like thin hair, and that's fine. Like that's fine for. It wasn't fine for me, and that was fucking horrifying. Like I'm lucky that my puberty was like weirdly kind to me, and I have a trans brother as well who was like genuinely. This is really funny. He looked really much like a dude. I looked. I like I said, no HRT. I can fucking pull this shit off. Like puberty was nice to me, and I am thankful for that every day. It's not nice to other people, and they can kill themselves over it. If you want kids to kill themselves because they don't get puberty blockers, if you rather have them do that, you should fucking die. It's that simple. You ruin people's lives, and you are worthless fucking scum. And I will not be. They're like this. This isn't a fucking joke. Kill yourself.
Yeah, and this was in relation to a specific trial that would be run, and to have access to puberty blockers, you have to be on this trial. Otherwise, you'll have no access. And Ehrlich came across it and said, that's not true. You can still access puberty blockers. But this just shows that once again, the media is twisting it.
Yeah.
It's like, so when he mentioned puberty blockers, that just set a light bulb off. Because like, what damage is it doing to your life, Graham? Seriously, what harm is it doing?
None. And it does none harm to the child's life.
It doesn't affect you. You're a 50 plus year old man.
Yeah.
Acting like a creep online.
Yeah, like he's gone through puberty, and by the looks of how fucking huge he is, yeah, probably like 5 times by now. Like he kind of has the look of a baby who never stopped growing. Like if Daniel Craig started mutating. Daniel Craig looks like an angry baby. If you haven't noticed that, you will now. He looks like an angry baby who is kind of mad that he's there. And I like Daniel Craig. It's just that he looks like an angry baby who's kind of mad that he's there.
Yeah.
Like wherever he is, he's kind of angry at it. I like that. But he did this fucking baby. I just want to see Spice. Well, I almost said like she's a baby. I fucking love that movie.
Yeah.
The best bits of Spice World, and I'm sorry, this is completely irrelevant, but it's Meatloaf plays the bus driver, and at one point he says, "I love those kids, and I would do. No, I love those girls, and I would do anything for them, but I won't do that." Best bit of the film, fucking perfect, brilliant, film. Brilliant.
Whenever I look at Graham Linehan, I just imagine that fat Scottish man in Austin Powers.
I did not expect an Austin Powers reference there. I was thinking more Quasimodo actually, but yeah,
all that.
Right.
Yeah,
Quasimodo was also like a sympathetic character, and he. I kind of love the fact that in the Disney film, they're like, no, you're not getting the girl. You're a great person, but you're fucking ugly. And in the book, he dies, and she dies, and everyone dies. The book is fucking depressing. It's a great book, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right about that one as well. Sorry, that's fucking weird.
Yeah,
I got so mad at the puberty blockade things.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I have a few things that actually does piss me off, and like always, kids is my weak spot. My boyfriend has a kid, and I was very clear in the beginning. If he ever picks me above that child, I will leave that instant. Now, because my boyfriend is a great person and a fucking sane person, despite from what I'm saying, and whenever I like quote tweet him and call him a muppet, but he's the guy I'm quote tweeting all the time. But like, he didn't do that, thankfully. But like, kids are I do not tolerate people speaking over children and like not putting them first. And I don't even like kids. I don't want kids. I will never have kids. Thank fuck. But if you get kids, fucking treat them well. They own you, not the other way around. You fucking muppets.
Absolutely. You know, it's absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself.
So I'm probably always going to be like this.
That level of
we'll spend
incuriousness is pretty disgusting.
A few more minutes on this, and then we'll call it a night, and then we'll.
Part of me wonders if maybe they did look it up, and then they saw what kind of reaction you get if you ask a question, or if you speak against it, even the most mild form. And then if
I don't even think they got that far, Sash. I really don't. I just don't think they're interested. I don't think they think.
I need to try to learn how to speak with like not moving any single muscle in my
that in front of his wife. His wife was just sitting there, and he said, "You know, people don't care because it's just not important." You know, I mean, imagine saying that in front of the woman you love. I think these people are just.
Well, it's not.
I think you're right, though, in the sense that I definitely feel they know that the temperature at the mouth of the conversation, that's where it's highest. It's the heat of this temperature is blazing hot, and their attitude is, well, just don't go near it, you know, which you can understand. It cost me my career and marriage, you know, but it wouldn't have cost me those things if they had expressed the tiniest bit of support and brought the temperature down themselves, but none of them had the courage to do so, you know.
Did anybody come around after reading your book?
No, not as far as I know. I don't think so. Even people who I still got on with, like, you know, I feel like they haven't read it. You know, I think that they see the cover and they just think it's about the issue, whereas it's actually about, like, you know, 70% comedy career. So we might have to fix that for the second edition or for the paperback. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem to have had much of an effect. The people it's had effect on are, as always, you know, the audience, you know, who in the end are they're my people. They're the people I wrote the shows for, and they're the people who stood up to defend me. You know, the audience. My colleagues never did, but of course, with the exception of Richard Ayoade and Jonathan Ross, who gave me quotes for the book. But yeah, it's been the people in the audience who once again have kind of saved my neck. You know, I always write with an audience in mind, and you know, I know so many people from so many different walks of life who support me that it's balanced it out quite a great deal, you know.
Yeah, I thought that was brilliant in the book when you wrote about how Shakespeare had to write for an audience, and that was one thing that made him so good, was that he knew his audience would literally throw tomatoes if they didn't like what they were hearing, you know, or rotten onions or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And
they were armed. They had knives. You know?
Yeah, right. Terrible. Yeah, it was dangerous.
Yeah. But the nice version of that is a studio sitcom, you know, where I don't know if you remember, like there'd be episodes of Roseanne. Roseanne was a great show for this, and it wasn't just laughs. The audience would be like, you could. Are you going to defend Roseanne Barr now during the dramatic parts? Roseanne.
I thought the bitch was white. Roseanne Barr. Yeah, that's
Dan and Roseanne had the worst argument in front of all their friends. and it was ferocious. It was an absolutely ferocious 5 minutes of television, you know? And you can hear the audience's silence as much as you heard their laughter, and it's powerful. It gives you a chill to hear a whole room suddenly holding its breath, you know. And that's why I still have a fondness for audiences. I still, you know, people, studios
Audiences don't have a
sometimes
fondness for you, though, do they?
They replaced one kind of generic comedy with another, you know.
I do love Roseanne, though.
Suddenly everything had to be like using the framework of a documentary with people doing interviews to camera all the time about what's going on, and as a result, I don't know, it was just another what seemed to me quite a dreary convention after a while.
What a fucking war! I'm sorry, like the
I don't
interviews
know,
in the office,
they never felt that.
They hide the truth in the interviews in the office. The point is that they don't speak honestly when they like are interviewed, but they do it when they don't know the camera is watching. What the fuck? This is like the fundamental understand. Oh, and it's like 4 episodes. I can come up with 4 shows that does that. It's Modern Family, which doesn't have the camera crew there at all. It just has the interviews, which it also does like that thing, you know, where they say something, but because they're people who are talking to a camera, they are playing an actor, and they're like no, they're like acting. They're playing like the characters are playing in the interviews, and they are constantly lying in the interviews. This person doesn't know the fucking basics of storytelling. Like he gets confused by shit sitcoms like Modern Family. Sorry, that's just I recently like rewatched the entire The Office, like the British version, not the shit US version. Oh, it's not shit. Yeah, it fucking is. Parks and Rec, though, great show. The American Office, I'd rather put my cock in a blender.
Yeah,
I'm stamped.
I never really watched The Office, the UK or the US version. Like, I didn't find it funny.
No, and I get that, like, yeah.
But you know, that's Graham in a nutshell. He gets confused very easily. You know,
what's so funny about like there's this like when it comes to The Office, it's really funny because Stephen Merchant was talking to someone like no, he got a call from someone who said like letter or whatever, blah blah blah, where they were talking about this great documentary, that's really funny documentary that went on, but like office in wherever that is supposed to be taking place. I don't remember now. It's Slough. It's Slough. And the other person that we're talking to was like, that was a comedy. It wasn't supposed to be a documentary. Oh, it's not funny then. So like, it was only funny if it was real. I don't agree, but I do get that point. And it's just, I hate office culture so much that I think that's why I love that show.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I can see that.
I don't think I can watch because now I'm just getting on tangents constantly, and I think I can barely fucking watch one second more of that fucking Muppet. I guess I'm going to start filling my notebook.
Yeah.
He's a special kind of special.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. I think we'll leave it there for this part, and we will.
I'm sorry if I'm really scattered today.
Yeah.
We got through half of it.
Yeah, exactly. Which is surprising.
It's an hour long.
Yeah.
Shit.
So we'll
we did a good job.
Pick up the second half either next week or the week after or whenever.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like if we do the interview next week, then probably not. But
yeah. Depending on.
Welcome to the interview. Let's watch Graham Linehan.
Yeah, depending on how long the interview with this woman is next week, we'll try and pick it back up then, or we'll do it the week after. But either way, we're going to get back to it because we want to hear more of the bullshit. Yeah.
I've had so much fun.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I'm going to stop the share.
Yeah.
I'm starting to.
I look fucking stunning tonight. Sorry, I just saw it again and I did my makeup good.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. As always, make sure you stay safe. If you like what you're hearing, give us a 5-star rating on Spotify.
I have promised to read every written 5-star rating out loud.
Yeah.
I think sometime at some point.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on YouTube. And yeah, until next week, we will see you then. Have a great weekend.
Bye.